What's up? I'm just going to record this from now and come in and actually edit it later. So I'm going to be doing a live Zoom here. I got to grab my little panda hat, flip and find it, just so I look like an idiot. So I'm going to grab my panda hat just so I look like an idiot. So a $299 a month membership for my panda hat, looking like an idiot. So. And I'm also going to do this. Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Fine.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, John. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
All right. This is Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
Hi.
I'm gonna put my window up so it's not quite so noisy.
Sure.
I'm driving. So did Jonathan hop on yet?
No, he's not. He's not on yet. Just waiting for him to hop on. I didn't know that you were hopping on. I thought it was just him hopping on. So.
Well, he and I were just talking, and the reason that he's calling you is mostly for my question. So.
Cool.
He and I are partners together.
No problem.
A lot of what. So. What? Well, I can wait for him to pop on.
It's completely.
Where are you located?
So right now I'm in India. So I'm in West Bengal in Kolkata.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, That's the one thing about this. We don't care where you are.
Well, that's good because from a business perspective.
By the way, I love your video. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But from a business perspective, if you want to deal with software, I'm in the best place that you could possibly be economically to get the most bang for your buck. So like right here where I'm at, Microsoft is here, Google's here, Facebook's here, Dell's here, Gateway's here, Tata's here,
Really?
is here. Anybody that you can imagine that's actually participating in software engineering at an enterprise level is set up shop over here. And a few other places as well, but India it's a huge hub for three different things is what they're really a huge hub for. One's IT services, one's just telecommunication services as far as customer support and stuff. Another one's obviously export of spices and stuff like that.
Right. Right. Well, the advantage is you're there. The disadvantage is trying to deal with some of these people when you're not there, and that's really what we run into. But you being there and controlling the workflow, the being able to check the work and all that is very, very huge.
Sure, it's definitely definitely an advantage being over here, and that's why I'm over here. I tried the whole managing everything from the US, from my hometown, and I struggled with it a lot. It wasn't really. It had its advantages. Obviously, cost efficiency was a huge advantage, but it just wasn't that predictable. It wasn't controllable. And from my background in professional software engineering, you have to be able to control certain actual aspects of that entire process. So, and it's definitely a hands-on thing. So for me to actually get what I want and to get the actual the quality and the real output that I want in order to actually do that, one, I have to control the process. I can't control the process if I'm hiring another company. So because they have their own little process, and trying to manage them from an entire different company, it's a headache. So it's definitely, that's why I packed up and moved over here, because I'm into software, and this is the place to be at if you're into software.
Well, we experienced the same thing. My friend and partner and brother in life, we started an orphanage in Zambia in 2005. And the first thing that we figured out is that in order for this to be successful, there has to be an American there to manage the orphanage and to manage the people, because they can't manage themselves. And so he actually moved his entire family over there in 2006. And he's been there for the last 12 years managing our orphanage, where we have 100 kids in our orphanage. We have 750 kids in our school. We feed 1,250 people a day and run 13 businesses. So from exactly what you're saying, there's no way on God's green earth we could ever do that with a proxy management style from the United States.
Sure, not if you expect the type of management and the type of output and quality that you would get in that culture. Like over here, could these dudes manage themselves? Yes, sure, they can totally manage themselves. Can they manage themselves to be able to actually give an output that is needed for a U.S. culture and a U.S. quality standards? Not necessarily, because that's not their culture over here.
Right.
It's a different norm. So, how are they supposed to actually manage that if that's not their philosophy? The ones that can. The ones that can are the real smart dudes like Microsoft and Google. What they do is they hire a bunch of dudes from over here. They flood them into the U.S. on work visas. They get them normalized and culturized, and then they flood them back over here. Microsoft has over 2,000 engineers over here working, and they do essentially the exact same model. They take the dudes in charge and leadership, flood them into the U.S., let them stay there for 5 or 7 years, and then pop them back over here to put them in leadership positions to trickle down that mentality and that mindset. So you're absolutely right. You gotta have boots in the ground if you want to ensure things are going to actually operate according to how you want them to work.
Cool. Well, I think Jonathan is here, so he can kind of tell you a little bit what we're looking for. I'm going to see if I can't soften the noise here a little bit with my headset, okay?
Yeah, sure. I see Christian's here too. Are you guys cool if he's here, or I'm not sure how you got here?
I don't care. Fine by me. I don't give a crap.
Cool.
Okay. What we're interested in doing is, see, like we've got, for instance, some plugins that we want to add more sort of features in it, and there's some things that we think we're probably going to need to have programmed in JavaScript. Is that the sort of stuff that we can get done with you?
Sure, you can totally get that types of stuff with me in JavaScript, whether you want it in just plain JavaScript, or I would recommend obviously at least going with. I mean, obviously it depends on what plugin that you're doing, what you're trying to do, but for simple plugins, yeah, sure, JavaScript, jQuery. If you want to jump into some framework like Ember, Vue, React, Angular, Node, all of those things that
right. I mean, some of it is plugins, but then other things are
just SaaS products.
They're just SaaS products, really.
Yeah. So if you look off the shelf, we have. If you look off the shelf, we have that we developed over the last 3 years of existence. Technically, we opened the doors of this office December like 16th was our actual first day that we had somebody sitting in the office, me, my wife, and my HR. Starting the actual this office, starting to recruit employees. That was December, like I said, like 16th, 15th of 2015. So we're essentially about to turn 3 years. We're about to turn 3 years old. Since then, we've built for ourselves 6 SaaS applications that we could say are in a production state. Another 4 or 5 that aren't really necessarily in a production state. They would be in what you consider an MVP state that we could essentially now, if we wanted to, we could prove the concept, prove the model, and then go in and actually further develop them. And about another 20 to 30, 50 applications that we produce that we don't own intellectual rights or distribution rights because we've been paid by our clients to develop those applications. Some of those applications being applications that are used by literally multi-million-dollar companies that we have, like some of those applications were actually built for state and local governments in the United States. For actually one for the actual treasurer of a state, for them to actually manage all the funding for their entire school systems, where you could think of the, not really I mean, you could think it's kind of like a SaaS application because it is a software as a service. The real big difference is there's no monthly subscription charge with the software as a service, because it's essentially what the state treasurer used as a tool for parents to go in and actually, log in and put in all the information about their children and put in their application for their child's school so that they can see if they qualify for funding. But the schools can actually go in and put in their expenses and accept students into the program and actually request funds, and then that the government can actually log in, the treasurer can log in and see the applications from the students, from the schools, and actually distribute out fundings that are coming in from essentially taxpayers. So yeah, as far as the engineering, we can do any type of engineering. What we don't do, it's easier just to tell you what we don't do. We don't do any type of design, so we're not a design firm. What we are is an engineering firm, so we don't actually do design. What we would do is we'd use a template. Or I don't like to typically recommend people, because if I recommend somebody and they don't do as it's from an engineering side, not to toot my own horn, but it's hard to find somebody that can actually provide a design that goes hand in hand with what we're capable of to do engineering wise. So if I interview somebody and they don't do a bang up job, that reflects poorly on me. So we typically don't do that, although I have a couple people that are really good at the design stuff, but that's not our core. Neither is content and marketing, SEO, stuff like that, digital marketing. But as far as engineering applications, setting up enterprise level systems, scalable systems, that is our core, and that's essentially all we do.
Right. So with this program that you're doing with like the $297 a month, so that would give us sort of, I think you said 40 hours of development time, like with I think you described them as like a junior developer.
That's correct. If you're one of the first 10 people that get on that plan, I'm prepared to give you that 40 hours of a junior developer. What that means, all right? So what could you expect that dude's resource? Now, there is provisions inside the group. As a member of the group, if you join the community, where you can get a senior level time for a very, very discounted rate, which essentially translates to $15 an hour. But what you get at the junior rate, all right? So these guys are essentially guys, what I do is I recruit them right in from college. As soon as they come in from college, I give them essentially like a 2-week crash course and just general stuff that they should know about, network infrastructure, setting up servers, DevOps, actually being able to set up a local machine to do development, how to actually, get the information that they need, and then essentially how to build chatbots. All right, so you have a very fresh resource. They do have a college degree. They have went through an interview process here, and actually been a resource that we've decided that if we apply time to them and give them opportunity, they will be able to actually mold them into a resource that will be profitable to us. But they don't have any on-the-job experience whenever they come to us at the beginning, not those resources, junior resources. So like I said, we just grab them up out of college, and then I put them through a two-week training course. What I typically like them to do is just work on chatbots, because that chatbot kind of gives them a mix of stuff that's kind of really easy, because they're, to some extent, they're clicking buttons in a program and doing kind of pseudo logic. And then also, whenever you need custom integrations, it allows them to go in and start building on their frameworks and building on the actual core engineering, which is what they want to do. That kind of gives them a mix and mix. I have had other clients that have grabbed those. You got to understand. So I'm real transparent and honest. You got to understand, at that rate, you want to know how much of my time that you're going to get? That much. I'm not going to give you any of my real time, other than the fact that if you have a problem, I'm going to sit there and listen to you. But I'm not going to be in depth in your process, obviously, making sure that those 40 hours, you're managing those properly, and that, everything's copacetic, because you're not paying me to do that.
No.
But I have had other clients that have went in and grabbed those resources, not on like a full-time basis. And what they've done is they've used them to build iOS applications, Android applications, web applications, and they've given them 3 months or 4 months or 5 months to build what would take, let's say, my senior dude, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks to build. And it's not built with the, let's say, the sophisticated design pattern and actual architecture and engineering that you would expect from a senior resource, but it gives you what you ultimately are going to need, is essentially that proof of concept, that thing that you can actually show and validate and actually use and begin to monetize, until you decide, hey, I actually need I need all that high-end engineering and all that high-end architecture, because I'm moving out of a market validation or a proof of concept. I wouldn't really recommend them to do your final end product that you really want to say, hey, this is what I'm going to bank my business on, right? But to get you up and going, you can mitigate. And I can give you a good example. I can give you a good example of a site that was actually built and took about, I don't know, I would say realistically it took 8 to 10 months for us to build it. And it probably should have taken us a total of 3, but it's because that guy didn't have a budget for full stack senior engineers that have worked for IBM for 7 years and now work here. He can only afford those fresh out of college dudes. And what he did is he just gave them 2 months he bought a senior dude for 2 months and put them in actual training for them to actually learn core concepts. And then after that, just kind of let them loose on their own with very little management, other than just using his own brains. And they built a system for him that works. It still works in his business. So they can do that types of stuff. Like I said, you just have to understand that they're not tried and tested employees. They're fresh, young minds. And to some extent, they're really good on a team, right? Now, if you're really going to want to build like some real thing that you can be like, hey, I'm going to make money off of this, and this is really going to make me money, you want to pair those dudes up, obviously, with some other senior dude. You want to grab, let's say, a senior dude, a junior dude, and maybe 2 or 3 of those little dudes. That way, those little dudes, after 3 months, those dudes are now actually a little bit accelerated because they've had hands-on, and you're starting to actually get a bang for your buck. But like I said, if you want a real business asset, I would not recommend going strictly with that fresher level resource. Although you could, and you would get something usable. It's just not going to be as fluid as somebody that's been doing it for 5 years.
So what's the pricing differentials?
So that if you're a community member and you want to, if you're a community member, that's all in the actual community. I guess if you're not a member, you can't actually see it. But if you're a community member, so the pricing essentially works based on volume of time. So your best bang for your buck is to hire them 1 month at a time. And if you're going with the senior level dude, it's $2,500 a month, which puts you at like $15 an hour is what you're paying for that resource.
Right.
So what about the middle dude?
What's the middle dude, like the junior dude?
Yeah.
That dude's gonna run, if you're paying a month at a time. That dude's gonna run you between $1,000 and $1,500 a month. It just depends on his level of actual experience and what he's gonna do. But generally it's gonna be between $1,000 to $1,500 a month on some junior level dude.
So what if you just want to hire them by the hour? What's the hourly rate?
If you want to hire them by the hour, you can hire them by the hour, and that just essentially depends on the hourly. That depends on how many hours that you're getting. If you're not a community member, it's just a flat $50 an hour if you're not a community member. So if you are a community member, then if you're getting less than 40 hours at a time, then it's going to be 35 bucks an hour. If you're getting between 41 hours and 159 hours, it's $25 an hour. And then if you're getting the actual full time, it's $15 an hour. So if you're breaking it up, I don't have those numbers right in front of me, but essentially if you break it up, I just like ratios is what I like, because math explains everything in the world, and ratios, if you break it up to the same thing, it's the exact same ratio for your junior. So.
Okay, and when you say the community member, I know obviously that on that top rate you get the 40 hours, but you can still avail yourself of these other services on like the 97 a month, can you?
Yeah, totally. The main difference between the different prices in the membership are part of what you get as a community member. All right, yeah. And the main benefit, the main difference actually being the way that you're able to get revenue shares and actually have ownership. And
the affiliate side as well, yeah.
Well, the affiliate side doesn't really change. All right, the affiliate side, the commission is the same. It's 58%. Like 41% on T1s and 17% on T2s, regardless of your membership level. What changes if you jump up a membership level to 197, you get some additional perks, which is essentially you get an unlimited Zapier account on our Zapier Teams account, which means that you don't have to pay $150 a month for Zapier. It also means that you have access to a Teams account where there's shared Zaps, where if you need Zaps, I mean, obviously we're not just going to sit for 40 hours, 160 hours a week and build Zaps at your demand.
No.
You have the actual ability to go in and say, hey, we need a Zap that does this, and then we'll go in and actually create it like the generic structure of it, and put it in the Teams folder, so you can just see how that generic structure works, and you can just tweak it to fit what you need to do.
Sure.
And then you get extra software accounts, so we give you an additional 5 accounts on all Tier 5 softwares that you can use instead of promoting as an affiliate. You can just sell outright on your own, let's say on a lifetime deal, or on a monthly payment to get 100% of that money back. You're just responsible for collecting the money on your own. You just get extra accounts. Sure. And then your T1 revenue shares. At 197, you get the T1 revenue shares. You get revenue shares for each of the first 750 community members that you bring into our community outside of your own revenue shares. And then at a 297, I'm giving at a 297, you don't get any dev time included in a 297 unless you happen to be one of the first 10 people that subscribe to the 297 membership.
And is there at least one space left at 297?
Yeah. There's actually 8 spaces left.
Okay.
So.
Anything else you want to ask, Patrick?
No, I think I've pretty got the idea of what to expect, or what, a lot of what we're building is not super high tech stuff at the moment. Like as an example, I built an XF program for images. Hi, sweetie. And so I want to take that WordPress plugin and turn it into a SaaS, but I want to just be able to have fields where we plug in our spin data, and I can take a single image and create 50 different images that's full of metadata and EXIF data. That's not a high level programmer, I wouldn't think. Pretty simple shit.
Not super high level. Most of WordPress isn't super. Most of WordPress isn't super high level. No, you're right. That's not a super high level.
So do you guys build plugins as well?
Yeah, we can build plugins, yes, and we've built several of them. It's not necessarily our core competency. Our core competency isn't WordPress, just because personally, WordPress isn't what I really like to work in, because it's not. Because it's very constrained, and it's very, as a platform, it's very coupled to their convention, which is not it is not properly engineered. If you were actually to look at how they manage things, how they manage their sessions, how they manage their memory, how they actually normalize their stuff. But we can work in it, and we do work in it. We do have WordPress devs. I mean, obviously there's a demand in it. So yeah, we can totally do WordPress plugins.
So do some of your development team, are they WordPress website, or you don't do that because a lot of it's design?
Well, we can do your WordPress websites. We can build a full WordPress website from the ground up. It would not be our ideal project, because what we like to really do is a lot more functional things outside just a standard, like brochure website, if you will. Most of those WordPress websites are pretty brochure, and there's not a lot of actual function to them. And when there is, essentially, hacking together some plugins and people trying to make some plugins work together. But we can build those from the ground up, and we have built those from the ground up. Like I said, we don't provide design, so we're either going to go with a theme, or you're going to provide us with a design file from a designer.
Okay. Do you guys do Java and C++ as well then?
Can, yes. Again, not an actual core competency. JSP typically. So as far as Java, we have dudes that do Java. Even I do Java because it's core Android. So if you're going to do Android stuff, you got to know Java. From a web application, if you want to talk about Java, JSP. We could do that, but also, again, not a core competency. We could do it because we're engineers, and essentially a programming language is a programming language. There's a syntax, there's some vocab, book about it. You just go through the book, you know the syntax, you know the program, you know the types and all that good stuff, and it's potatoes. So with something like that, C, like straight C, if you want to do .NET, again, not our core. Could we do that? Yes, but you're going to need a little bit of runtime just to prepare those resources. Or if you wanted us to, I can't obviously operate in the capacity if you want to do things directly and you want to go in and acquire a resource for a low discounted cost that has worked in .NET for the last 7 years, we can do that. But you're going to have to be on the foot for a little bit more than a monthly contract, because I obviously, as a business owner, don't want to go in and recruit a dude just so that you can give them a week worth of work that specializes in my core that isn't my core, and then be able to keep them busy. But I'm
not interested in going outside of what you actually do.
Sure.
If you don't do it, I'll find somebody else. I don't want you to, go find somebody just to do the job. There's other places to go to get that done. So we just want to stay within. It's like this. When I go on holiday, the first thing I do is ask the taxi driver, where does everybody go eat where the tourists don't go?
Right.
So I just want to stay directly within what your, specialty and, what's the best thing on your menu. And then, try to work around that, because that's what you'll do the best. The rest of it, you're trying to accommodate, and 9 times out of 10, it ends up being shit and just more trouble than it's worth.
I agree. We're really good at engineering, at core engineering. What our team currently really specializes in are modern PHP frameworks and modern JavaScript frameworks. So anything on a Beam stack, anything on a LAMP stack, and then the associated architecture that goes with that's essentially what our core is. Can we do Android and iOS? Yes, we can support that as well. Like I said, even JSP and ASP, we could support that. I mean, we could do Go, because an engineer is an engineer, and they always want to learn a new programming language that they haven't learned. And like I said, good engineer. For a good engineer, it's 7 to 14 days to go from never seeing a programming language to being efficient and actually understanding the convention and knowing what's available for you already in that framework and in their library, and then being able to kick out code in that.
Yeah, well, I'm just paying for somebody else to learn a new trade. That's all.
That's correct. That's essentially, you do pay for a learning curve if it's not in our core.
Which is not what I'm interested in doing.
I agree.
So, okay. So let's run down if Jonathan, you know, sets up and does the 297. Then tell me exactly what it is that he's going to get.
So he's going to get, at the 297, he's going to get access to the Tier 5 community. That gives you access essentially to the Tier 5 software pass, which gives you unlimited access to all Tier 5 softwares that exist right now, and all Tier 5 softwares that are built and launched while you maintain an active membership. So we're constantly building new software, so it gives you access to all that. It gives you access to the discounted software development rates. It gives you access to it gives you access to our affiliate platform, or if you guys want to promote and get commissions from Tier 5, you can do that. It gives you access to essentially our funnel-based product, which means that 4 of our core softwares you guys can give away for free, or you guys can actually resell at a price lower than us to make instant money. You can do that on an unlimited scale. If you want to sell 1 million accounts a month, you can, and you keep 100% of the revenue on that. You just set up the payment and everything on your side, and it gives you access to the Tier 5 community. It does give you access to the JV team, which means you get a weekly meeting with me. And then you also get access to our Zapier Teams account. And then you also get 5 additional accounts for you to do whatever you want with on every software that Tier 5 has, which right now is 6. So you get an additional 30 accounts to give you a total of 36 accounts. And then let's see, what else do you get? You get to participate in a collaborative software development environment, which means as a community member, you actually get to work directly with us in our own softwares and plan and help us plan and request different softwares that we can present to the community, because you guys are sick of paying for with other vendors. And then you're going to get 297, as long as you're on 297, you're going to get revenue shares on anybody that you recruit in the first 750 people in the community at both your T1 and T2 levels. So at a T1 level, if you recruit somebody at a T1 level, you're going to get 3 revenue shares for that sale. And at a T2 level, you're going to get 2 revenue shares for that sale. And the revenue shares are essentially, there are a maximum of 10,000 revenue shares that we're issuing from Tier 5, and those are actually distributed to the first 750 active community members. So the community member that signs up to be the community member, they get 2, and then if you're on the higher level plans, which if you are on the 297 plan, then you're going to get the T1 shares for your direct recruits and the T2 shares for your other recruits. It's the only way you can get more than 2 revenue shares at Tier 5. And then if you're one of the first 10 people, you're going to get access to, like I said, 40 hours a month, which is use it or lose it. It will not stack up. You're going to get 40 hours a month of unmanaged resource time. What that means is that you're going to be in charge of that resource. There is a team leader that is essentially above that resource, just to make sure that that resource is following a work process, but that resource is going to work directly with you for 40 hours a month. So you're either going to let me know that you want to do it 10 hours a week, or you want to do a weekly sprint. That is up to you how you choose to consume it, but you're going to consume it in one of 2 ways. You're either going to consume it where he is giving you 10 hours a week worth of time, or you're going to give him 40 hours a week in 1 week sprint every month.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll give you the total value of that, and that's probably, if you consider just the software accounts alone, that's $7,000–8,000 worth of value easily right there. If you consider revenue shares after 12 months of our community being fully funded, then that will actually end up paying off, but that is not an immediate value that you're going to get. It's going to take it's probably going to take 12 months before you see a revenue share of Tier 5 from your guys' perspective be worth upwards of $100 per share. But if you're on the 297 plan, and you guys actually through some process, let's say go in and get 10 or 20 people in your networks to come and join our community in this new collaborative effort to produce software together as a community, and leverage the fact that we can get very, very insanely low rates because I'm willing to live in this country and manage a company for you guys, that part will pay off. That will be the biggest payoff. But like I said, that is not an immediate thing that's going to take a little time.
Okay, I'm not sure whether Patrick's still here. I mean, I can see him here, but
Yeah, he's here.
okay. It's just he's not saying anything. But I mean, that sounds all good to me. So now I noticed when I looked at the sign up, it sort of went, fill in the application, pay, I think it was 97, and then it had like the 197 upsell or something. So
it doesn't, that upsell doesn't exist yet. So I haven't done those upsells yet because I just expect right now in this process, I'll be having physical conversations with people. And to be quite honest, I like to build software and don't really like to make marketing content or sales funnels or anything like that. So I just have put them together yet.
I mean, so maybe some of those sort of things, and if you need like videos and that done for stuff, I mean, that's one of my specialities. I've done it for some big launches. So, I'd be happy to, work something out on that with you if that appeals to you.
Possibly, yes. So possibly that's something that's possible, yes.
Yeah, okay. So if I want to go forward with the 297, what do you want me to do?
I mean, I can just give you a link where you can go in and pay for it if you want.
Okay. Well, if you can do that for me at your convenience.
Yeah. So I just give you a link to, it's actually one of the softwares that you get access to, which is an invoice platform that allows you just to easily go in and create invoices or sell products online if you want to sell stuff, if you want to collect money online. So I'll just give you that link and literally you just go in and pay it. And once you pay it, it will trigger some automation, set up all your software accounts. And then essentially we'll hook up again and essentially go through an intake process where I can re-solidify essentially what you're signing up for, especially in terms of what you should expect from the software development and my involvement and how much I'm actually gonna be involved in that, just so you guys are
Okay.
that my involvement is going to be if you have problems, you can go in and voice those concerns, and I'll go in and see what they are and rectify them, but I'm not going to be managing your resource. That's up to you guys. If you want me to do it, obviously I can do it, and I'm very, very skilled and good at it. I just charge money for that. So, but I dropped you a link right here in the I dropped you a link right here in the Zoom call. In the Zoom chat.
Okay. Well, I'll get. I had to take a phone call from my son, so I missed that. Can you send us the recording, John, when we're done?
Yeah, totally.
All right, cool. So, like I said, Jonathan is an acquaintance of mine, and sometimes I do things with him, and he does stuff with me. I mean, we're not partners; we just know each other. And I knew that he might be interested in this whole process, and I have a team right now of 740 people. And, well, let me rephrase that. It's not a team, as you would classify a team. They're members in my software program called the Ranking Factory. And we've spent a year and a half building this product, and it's working kick-ass. And so I've got 750 people that, we could, once we get this thing going and get some experience, they're all looking, well, let me rephrase that again. I tend to overemphasize certain things. Many of them are continually asking me, where do I get a VA? Where do I get a VA? Where do I get a programmer to do this? Where do I get that, right? And, I just don't have any good answers at all to try to help them solve that problem. So that's one of the reasons, why it would be, exciting to see how this actually would work, especially with some of the products and programs that I already have in the can that need some help, and then kind of go from there. So that's not to say to you that we'll ever get a single person to sign up. I'm just telling you that we have a very, very active group of people
What type of people are they? Like digital marketers, business owners?
They're all SEO guys, digital marketers, CPA marketers, SEO guys, YouTube, marketers. Put it this way, you probably may not believe this, but you can ask Jonathan. I do not have a support team. I have a support person who helps me do certain things, but I can put you in our Skype chat group and you'll see. But we have hundreds of conversations every day in our Skype chat. So if somebody new comes on and has a question, the members of my group pounce on them to answer their question before I ever even see it. So it's awesome. I mean, you could never ask for anything better than that, because you got the real users of the product answering the questions, as opposed to me, the developer who never uses the product, trying to answer the question, right?
Right.
So I don't have time to do it. I'm not using it. I'm just developing it.
Right.
So, and then, in addition to that, this may not even be appropriate or not even working, but we have never, ever, ever actually launched our program, ever. It's never been on Warrior Forum, JV Zoo. It's never been anywhere. We've only grown this product word of mouth and by webinars over the last 18 months.
And how much what's your revenue roughly, Patrick, if you don't mind disclosing that?
My current monthly revenue from that is right around $21,000 a month. Is our monthly gross revenue. So, it's kind of grown to that level in just the recent 6 months, when we added a bunch of other tools to our suite. I'll send you a copy of what we do, John, just so you can see it. Just as a courtesy for you, and then you'll get a better picture of what we're doing, how I like to do things, what kind of product that we do. Because I have like, anyway, it doesn't make any difference for this conversation, but we've got quite a bit, and we have a lot of members doing a lot of different things. So, if I get really comfortable with this, I could maybe help some of your sales. I don't know. Which is,
say, if you look at softwares, you'll probably see that they'll mix.
Yeah, that's why you have the affiliate the way that you do at 58%. So, I'm gonna like it and love it and get out there and tell everybody that, get a couple of your guys together and join. Just do it that way, and they'll be good to go.
Do you have an affiliate program for your program?
Yeah. I mean, that's how we've grown our business, is 100% through affiliate webinars. So as an example, like the video that you did, which is awesome, by the way, I loved it. I love your comedic environment that you created. I thought it was awesome. But as an example, I don't know, let's say you've got 1,000 members and you saw our software and you liked it. You would be our affiliate, and our affiliate, earnings per sale, is usually in the $300 to $500 per sale category. We're not quite as expensive per month as you are, but we do charge up front. Like, as an example, our lifetime purchase price for 2 of our products is $1,800, and these guys are paying that all day long.
Right.
I hate lifetimes, but somebody talked me into it, and I still hate them, but it brings in the cash to build when we're still in beta, if you will, because we're still building modules.
Sure.
So, be happy to show you what we got, so you can, kind of gauge how we could interact with each other, right?
Sure. And we're all about building software. So if that's what you're monetizing, then we're definitely going to be a really good, powerful tool for you, because that's what we do. I mean, like I said, we build enterprise level software. We're really good at it, and we love it. That's our thing, man. That's what we love to do. So.
All right. Well, I'm excited. So, Jonathan, having done this, everything else, are you comfortable in picking this up for yourself and utilizing it the way that you want to use it for your business?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, then sign up for it.
Okay.
Okay. And then that'll be great. I appreciate it. And John, thanks for taking the time to hook up with us. Okay.
My pleasure. Really look forward to seeing you in the community. You can both join, by the way, if you want. The community membership gets one of you guys in the community. Would love to have both of you if you both want to join. But regardless, regardless, we can work together either way. So it's definitely my pleasure to jump on and talk to you guys.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll send you guys the recording a little bit later. All right.
All right.
Great.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, John.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Christian.
Yeah. Speaking of Christian, do you have anything you wanted to talk about or something while you're here, Christian? Was there something you needed?
Yes, I'm just with ClickFunnels, and you showed us, I think it was last week, how to connect the SAPs.
How do I get off of this?
Just click the end meeting. You should see a leave meeting button at the top right.
Yeah, I'm on my cell phone. It's not quite that simple.
I'll just kick you off. Don't take it personally. I'll just kick you off, all right?
Yeah, thanks. Kick me out.
I got you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So I was showing what?
For the baits, how to connect API with SAP to ClickFunnels.
Are you struggling with it?
No, I have not tried.
Okay.
Did you record this short tutorial?
Yeah, I sure did. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But essentially all you need to do is go right into the Zapier Teams account, and then if you look in the Tier 5 group folder, you'll see the shared zaps, and then there's one zap for every software. So you can just go in and essentially copy that zap. But let me find this video for you real quick, and just grab you the link, and I'll send you the link here real quick in Zoom. And then there's the video. It shows you exactly how to do it. But literally, you just go into the Zapier Teams account and go to the Tier 5 shared folders, and then there's a Tier 5 group, and just go in there. You'll see, if you're using Builderall, Shelly was nice enough to put some zaps in there, but since you're using ClickFunnels, you can just use mine, and then just go to that zap, and then I'll just show you while I'm here. So here all I've done is I'm in the Zapier Teams account, which you have access to if you're on the JV team, and you'll just go in here to this Tier 5 group right here. And then once you get inside this Tier 5 group, you'll just pick, like, this is the Magic Zap one. Here is the Invoicing You. Here's Link Wizard. Here's Sticky Reviews. Let's say you want to do that Magic Zap one. Well, all you're going to do is essentially what you would do, your process that you would follow is you would just come right back out here, and you would just go to this folder, this shared folder, this Tier 5 group folder. You would just pick what you want to do. You want to set up the Magic Zap funnel bait, so you're just going to copy this guy right here. And then once you copy this guy, you're just going to edit it. If you're using ClickFunnels, you're just going to come to this first step, and you're going to switch my ClickFunnels account with your ClickFunnels account, and you're going to click, you're going to switch to your funnel, whatever your funnel is that's actually capturing the lead. And then you're just going to come to step 2. Step 2 is our actual API integration, and you're just going to go, what you want to do is just come down here and make sure that this email is your email coming from your step 1. And then you'll just come to your step 3, and you can literally just change this to be sending from my email address to be sending from your email address. And you just want to send them out an email that at least contains this information right here. Everything else you can obviously edit, update, add in more content to give them more. You just need to make sure that you give them their username and password, and at least give them this information so they can log into that account that you just sent them.
Good.
Pretty simple, right?
Yes.
And then you'll just do that for all the
yes. I've done it 3 or 4 times. I know how it works.
Yeah, you'll be doing it 3 or 4 times because you'll literally once you're done with let me just delete this guy because I don't need these copies in here. This one here, copy. Once you're done with let's say the Magic Zap one and you want to do the Invoicing You one, it's the same thing. You're just going to copy this Invoicing You one. And then once you copy them, you're just going to edit them and you're just going to say, hey, you know, switch from my ClickFunnels to your ClickFunnels. Just make sure you come back over here and make sure that you're referencing the email from your step 1 and then just come over here and edit your email. Use your email address and just edit it to have whatever content. If you got another offer, maybe you want to give them an offer right here, right? Because they've just grabbed something for you for free. Maybe you want to add them to your autoresponder and put them on a series. That's what other people do. They add them to an autoresponder. And like Hector, one of the reasons Hector's been so successful, he's got almost 100 affiliates already that he signed up. One of those reasons is he uses these same free softwares. And whenever he gets his user in for like the first 7 days, he doesn't do anything but send them messages about the software they signed up and how to use it and how it will help them. So for like, you know, 5 or 7 days, if they signed up for Link Wizard, he's giving them little Link Wizard videos and little reasons why they want to go use Link Wizard and showing them, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. And then after 7 days, they've seen his face so many times on those videos and read his email so many times to learn how to use that and why they want to use it, that now he actually markets to them and say, hey, want to try the rest of the Tier 5 suite or want this affiliate offer, that affiliate offer. So I don't know how successful he's been with his other affiliate offers because I have no way to gauge that, but I know how successful he's been in promoting Tier 5 software. And like I said, he has almost 100 users that he's brought in already, which is for him, it's almost $4,000 a month residual revenue coming in from just giving away free software, teaching them how to use it, and then asking them if they want to pay for some non-free software.
Yes.
But you'll just do this process. Pretty easy. So it's all laid out in that video.
Perfect. Yes, that's all for the moment.
All right. Well, it's good to see you again, and I'll see you again sometime soon, man.
Yes. Bye, John.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye.